here's on the older direct mail leads because we have we've done direct mail leads, but it's been a while. So those are going to be, I don't know how old those are, but
Okay.
here's uh, for old leads like that, like those ethos scripts are not going to work, as you can tell, right? You can tell that
Yes.
they hang up on you. Okay, I'll tell you a script that works for old leads. This is a script. It's like, hey Joe, this is Alex. How you doing? And you talk to them like you're their old friend from 30 years ago. Hey Joe,
Mm.
Alex, how you doing today, man? Well, I'm doing good. Do I know you? Actually, let me tell you the reason why I'm calling. I'm doing an investigation right now. Some time ago, you were interested at some point at getting mortgage protection for your house. Probably when you got your mortgage. That could have been, 1 or 2, 3 years ago, whatever. And really, the reason why most people fill out this form, let me kind of tell you, they fill it out because when they die, they want to make sure their family, gets their mortgage free and clear.
Mm. Mhm.
And so that's why I'm doing an investigation. Some time ago, let me read to you what you put down here. It says that your mortgage is 350,000. You got your mortgage back in 2020, and your name is Joe Smith, and your wife's name is Mary, and you sent this back because you just got a mortgage. Now, I'm sure you don't remember this, do you? Oh, maybe but you did get a mortgage back in 2020, right? Yeah, I did. Okay. Well, what typically we send these out to people that got mortgages. And so they were worried when they sent it back to us that when they died, they the family's going to have a difficult time paying the mortgage. So does that sound like a concern that you had back then?
Mm. Mm.
Well, yeah, that might sound okay. Well, I'm just like I said, I'm just doing an investigation. I'm just checking in, and because we don't show any record of you taking care of this, I just want to, we're checking back with all these clients that have sent these in, whether or not this is still a concern. If it is, I can help you. But look, if it's not, you're covered. Like when you die, the mortgage is paid off. That's cool too. So, what? Tell me, kind of what your situation is. Okay. So that's like mortgage protection. Now, if it's
Okay.
a final expense lead, I basically say the same thing. I go, "Hey Joe, Alex here. How are you? Uh, I'm okay. Do I know you? Now, let me tell you why I'm calling from the Senior Benefits Center, and some time ago you sent in this form, and what it has to do is that most people, when they send this form in, they are concerned that if they died, their family's going to have to pony up to pay for their funeral. And so that's why most people fill this form out and send it back to us. We show that we didn't take care of this for you. And so we're just following back we're checking in with our clients that sent this back. If we can help them out. Let me ask you a basic question. When you die, do you have something in place that's going to be able to, take care of your family so they're not going to have to come up with the money to pay for your funeral?
Mm.
And then what they'll tell you yes, no, whatever. All we're looking for are people that say, yeah, yeah, I mean, I don't have anything. Oh, well, I'm glad I called. Okay. And then, you go into it like, I'm going to ask you a few questions and let's figure out how we can help you. And then you go into it. Or they're going
Right.
to hang up, because they're still going to hang up.
Yeah.
Or they're going to say, well, I don't remember filling this out. Tell me more about it. Well, when most people fill this form out, they're worried because you got to use an emotional word. They're worried, they're concerned, they're worried that when they die, their family's going to have to come up with the money to bury them. And I'm sure you know how expensive funerals are, right? Again, you're asking them questions. Well, yeah, I guess. Okay, well, funerals can be 15,000, 25,000, just it's really kind of whatever you want. but most people are just trying to protect their families. So is that why? So here's a question, because they can go either way with it. I call it the optometrist question, because optometrists, they say, does A look better or B look better, A or B, and they switch the lens thing. So you ask them the question. So is that what you're looking for, or were you looking for something completely different? Right. So you give them two answers. Well, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, well, I think we can help you. I hope we can. I'm going to ask you some questions, and we'll figure out if we can help you. Or they say, no, I was looking for something different. Oh, well, what are you looking for? You know, so so that's really kind of how you get into it with old leads. Now, if you got brand new leads, like ethos leads or even ethos leads that are 30 days old, then you follow the ethos script, because the ethos script is a little bit like, hey, I'm just checking back with you. You came to ethos and you filled out some information on insurance, but you didn't, really finish it. I'm calling back to, figure out why was that? Why weren't you interested? Was it too expensive? So it kind of still has that flavor of you checking back with them on something that they had filled out. Now, in an
Right.
older lead, they didn't fill it out, or they don't remember filling it out. It could be 2 years ago, right? And so all
Yeah.
you're doing is what we call refreshing the lead by refreshing the intent. So the purpose is not for them to remember. Their purpose is to ask to answer the question of intent, right? So, Joe, let me ask you, like, when most people fill this form out, they're worried that when they died, that their family would have to come up with a way to pay the mortgage because their main breadwinner died. Now, is that what you were concerned about when you filled this out? Were you looking for something completely different? Right. You can do it with final expense. Final expense. Let me ask you, when most people fill this form out, they're worried that when they die, their family's going to have to come up with the money to pay for their, funeral. And you know how expensive funerals are. Is that what you were looking for? Or were you looking for something completely different? All right, that moves you down the road. Now, so here's something I do on final expense leads. If they're looking for final expense,
Mm-hmm.
is when they say, well, yeah, that's what I was looking for. Okay, great. Let me ask you a basic question. People buy life insurance for people that they love and they want to take care of. So let me ask you a basic question. When you fill this out, who are you thinking about? Who is it that you care about, that you love, that you're trying to take care of? Then you shut up and let them answer the question. So then they're going to say, well, my wife. Oh, okay. What's your wife's name? What? My wife's name is Mary. Okay. Well, I mean, obviously you love her because you want to take care of her. So tell me about Mary. How long have you guys been married? Oh, we've been married 35 years. Wow. That's a long time. That's great. Do you have any kids, Mary? Yeah, we got 3 kids. They're all grown. Oh, that's cool. So you must have grandkids, right? Oh, yeah, we've got 5 grandkids. Wow. That's pretty amazing. So, kudos to you being married for 35 years. What's your secret for being married? Here's what I'm doing when I ask those questions. What I'm doing is I'm making Mary real to me, but I'm making Mary real to them. I want Mary to be someone they're thinking about when they're answering my questions about life insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So once I find out about Mary, then here's how I close them on intent. Okay. I say, wow. So let me help. So here's what I'm understanding from you. My understanding is that you love your wife so much that when you die, you don't want to leave her with a bill on paying for your funeral, where she has to worry, again, emotional word, she has to worry about where she's going to have to come up with the money. And that you want to leave her with a policy that will give her all the money she needs to take care of your final expenses. Is that what I'm hearing you say? And they say yes, no, whatever. Typically, for the right person, they're going to say, well, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, great. Just want to make sure. So here's how I can help you. I'm going to ask you some questions so I can understand your situation. And then I'm going to go find a company that will get you covered for the right to fit your budget. Okay. If I can do that and get you a policy that you can protect Mary, who you love, does that sound like something you'd want to do? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Great. Okay. So here, so let me break down what I did. Number one, I refreshed the intent. I don't care if it's a new lead, old lead, but I refreshed the intent. Number two, I figured out who do they love and want to take care of. Number three, I summarized for them what that is, and I got permission to move forward in the conversation. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Low two, low one.
So that's what you do with an old lead. Okay. Even, and what you do with a new lead too. But again, refreshing their intent, what they want to accomplish. And if they hang up on me, good, because I don't want to work with someone who that's not their concern. Right. So all you're doing with old leads, new leads, I don't care, whatever lead, you're trying to find that person who cares about their family. You know, because I'm like, for example, are you going to sell a house to someone who doesn't want to move? No.
No, at
Are
all.
you going to sell a house to someone who is not looking for investment properties? No. Are you going to sell a house to someone who can't afford to get out of their mortgage that 3% so they can get a mortgage for, 7%? Probably not, right?
Nah, no,
Okay.
exactly.
That's all we're doing here. We're
Mhm.
going through all these leads to find the nice people, right? And so, that's why you have to, and that's what you're learning to do. You're learning how to talk to people off a lead that they don't know what's going on, right? Now, here's another thing. Like, for example, okay, so let's talk about another type of sale, IUL sale. It's like, hey, Joe, this is Alex. How you doing? Oh, man, I'm doing great, man. It's been a while. I know, I sold you a house. You got into that investment property, 2 years ago. And, that's a great house thing working out for you. You renting that out? Oh, yeah, it's been great. Is it an Airbnb or, which service are you using? Yeah, I use an Airbnb. Well, that's great, man. How many weeks a month are you covering for your mortgage? Man, it's just taking 2 months and I'm covering my mortgage and it's going great. My house value's gone up. Man, I appreciate everything you did for that's awesome. Hey, listen, I'm just throwing this out there. I've recently got into retirement planning with people and you know, and what I've been doing is I'm going back to my clients and helping them out with their retirement planning. We've got this really unique product where we're able to help people develop tax-free retirement. Now I'm sure you've got investments and maybe 401k or whatever. Those are all taxable retirement
Right.
vehicles. Has anyone ever talked to you about tax-free retirement vehicles? Huh. Uh, no, I've never talked to them about it. Okay, great. Well, look, this is not meant to go into it. I'm just looking for people right now that's never heard of it. Look, it's probably going to be about 15, 20 minutes. Why don't we get together for a cup of coffee, and see if this might be something, up your alley. If it is, great. If it's not, great. I got time, Thursday at noon or Friday at 1 p.m. We can meet up at that Starbucks right by your house, for about half an hour, 20 minutes. You got time? Which one would work for you? Boom. Talked about, then you book the appointment, right? Again, you're qualifying interest if they're interested in tax retirement. If they say, yeah, I'd be a fool if I wasn't interested, then you book the appointment, right? Again, it's an approach on your war market, or it could even be life insurance. Like, hey, Joe, listen, after you get through all the stuff, it's like, hey, listen, I'm partnered with 50 different life insurance carriers right now. I'm just checking back with my, prior clients. Have you taken care of your mortgage protection or your final expense burial policies yet? Okay. So that's another way to talk to people about, the regular life insurance. But again, it's just a phone call, right? And
Mhm.
you've already got a relationship with them. And then you're just checking interest, right? Again, same thing applies. Are they interested and they're looking? If they're not, great. Same thing for recruiting. Hey, Joe, this is Alex, blah, blah, blah. Hey, listen, I got partnered with a multi-million dollar financial services company. They're looking to expand, looking for a few people here in the Maryland area right now. I don't know if you're looking right now, this might make sense to you, but we're looking to partner up with some people. Are you currently, open to creating some additional income outside of your full-time job? What are you going to say? Yes, no, maybe. What is it, right? You got something to say for each one of those. Yes, I am. Actually, great. Listen, I don't have time right now, but let's sit down for about 15, 20 minutes, cup of coffee. That Starbucks that by your house. I got time, blah, blah, blah. You book the appointment. They say, well, maybe. What is it? Oh, great. Financial services. Have you heard of Mutual of Omaha, Transamerica, these financial companies? Yeah, I've heard of them. Well, we're doing annuities, retirement planning. We're doing estate planning. We're doing life insurance. We're just looking for a few people that we can network with that, might be able to take advantage of our opportunity, make some incredible money on the side, possibly make it a full-time job. I don't got a lot of time to get into it right now, but you got 15, 20 minutes. We can sit down and talk in more detail, right? Or I can set up an interview, that kind of thing. So again, everything that when we reach out to people, it's qualifying interest, warming up our relationship, qualifying interest, asking the question, and then book the appointment. If they're not interested, great. At least we know they're not interested. Okay. Then we don't waste our time further with people that aren't interested. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. And I like the approach, you know, that you have here just to connect and create it's little, so you create the link. So that way when they're interested, they just follow with the conversation. And I like that. I like that. I mean, I'm serious. I was just following the script.
Oh, yeah. And you should. I mean,
Yeah.
that's why we have scripts, but
Yeah.
I don't think we have an old lead script. I think we do, but for old leads, that's really kind of the approach you want to go. Maybe I should publish that old lead script, but you have it on here on this recording, so you can
Yeah.
recreate it. So
Oh yeah, definitely. That helps a lot. And you're right. I'm gonna work on rewriting it, and making my own pretty much.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
look, man, if you can tell they're Spanish speakers, and you can sort of tell, man, I go right into Spanish, man. Because that's another connection, right? I would go right
Yeah.
into it, you know. But then again, saying those things like, look, I'm just doing an investigation right now. You had sent this in a long time ago. You may not even remember it. But when people fill this form out, they're worried that when they die, that their family's going to have to come up with the money to bury them. And some time ago, you filled this out. I'm just checking back because we show that you didn't, that we
Mm,
haven't taken care of this for you. Is this something you're concerned about when you die, that your family's going to have to figure out how to pay for the funeral? I mean, a lot of different ways to say it, but the gist is you fill this out. When most people fill this out, they're worried about this. Was this something that you're worried about still? Or, is there something else you're worried about? It's sort of that idea, right?
yeah. Now another question I have for you then.
Yeah.
Now all these ether leads and everything that we see in the integrity. I know we're switching to Spanish, correct? I think that I saw the announcement. So it does also mean that most of those leads they have a Spanish speaking targeted or not? Or
Well, the
have you
Spanish,
seen it?
well, yeah. Spanish speaking leads are people that either, so if it's a direct mail lead, chances are that the mailer was in Spanish and that they replied back on. So direct mail leads, there's an English side and a Spanish side. If they filled out the Spanish side, then it's considered a Spanish lead.
Oh, okay.
Um, Other leads are created that are Spanish leads from Spanish social media. So if the social media ad was a Spanish ad, then would come back as a Spanish speaking lead. On occasion, there are leads that are developed because their surname is a Hispanic surname, so it may or may not be a Spanish lead. But yeah, they're focusing on creating leads in that particular market. So
Yeah, I saw the announcement. So that will be also, a great opportunity.
yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's great. Yeah, definitely that gives me a lot of work to just to rewrite things, and I'm gonna try it again. I'm gonna do another round of calls, and I go to with that approach. That would be excellent. And then one more thing. We have
Yeah.
our first meeting, our opportunity meeting. Me and Pablo, man, we're the soldiers there.
Dude, you have
It's
no
good.
idea how
Good
many
practice.
times it's happened to me traveling to a location and the only people that showed up are the agents or, you know, and I'm there, I made the commitment. So I'm there. I'm not disappointed because it's just part of building the business. And then early on back in the day, I would do meetings where no one would show up. It was just me. So, you know, that's everyone goes through that. Here's the thing though, you know, um, so again, it's all about qualification, right? This is all we've been talking about. So when you're qualifying people to come to an opportunity meeting, there's, to me, I told Pablo this, there are two types of people, and it depends on your invite. There are people like, hey, we're doing a meeting, and in my partner's office, it's there in Columbia, Maryland. Listen, we're looking for people right now that want to partner with us to make some additional income. You know, does that sound like something you're interested in? They say, yeah, that sounds like, when is it? It's Wednesday at 6 p.m. Where is it? It's blah, 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 Columbia, Maryland. Okay. Yeah, I think I could probably make it out there. All right, great. Awesome. Okay. Now, eh, that's one of those 50-50, probably 70-30. They're going to no show you, right? Because your conversation was just trying to book them into a meeting, but there was no, yeah, we're just looking for some people to maybe partner up with. Are you open to make some income? Yeah, yeah, I am actually. Okay. And then they were going to come out, but then the wife reminded them, oh, remember we were going to have dinner with that couple. So you don't know what came up. Obviously, having dinner was more important because his wife booked it. Okay. So those are legit. However, but typically they just kind of say, yeah, I might be interested. Great. Here's So that's one way of doing it. And you can invite 30 people to a meeting like that, and maybe 5 people show up, right? So they're really out of the numbers. In my experience, typically half the people, even if you have a good invite, half the people will show up. So what's a good invite? So here's a good invite. It's like, hey Joe, this is Alex. You and I have talked about business over the years and some things. And I'm just checking back with you. Are you keep your options open right now? Are you looking right now to maybe, add an additional stream of income to what you do full time? Well, yeah, I'm always looking. Okay, well, great. Listen, I have a meeting that we're putting together Wednesday at 6 p.m. My business partner, Pablo, who's got this jam in business right now. He's hooked up with a guy out of Dayton, Ohio. They're very large financial services business nationwide, and he's going to be doing a special meeting on Wednesday at 6 o'clock in Columbia. Now, look, we're just inviting a few people to it because we're only looking for just a certain number of people to get started, with us. I thought about you, because I thought you're always an entrepreneur, always kept your mind open. Are you open to checking out what we're doing? Yeah, it kind of depends on what it is. Okay, well, look, it has to do with financial services. Have you heard of Mutual of Omaha and Transamerica? These big name companies. Yeah, I've heard of them. Okay, great. Well, we're doing retirement planning. We're selling annuities. We're doing a lot of, financial stuff, estate planning. some very, high level products. And we're just looking to bring some people on right now to help us expand this market. Like I said, I thought about you. Obviously, I can't get into all of it right now, but I just want to make sure, are you looking right now to expand your income? If you're not, that's cool. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I am actually looking. Okay. Look, I'm talking to several people right now. I can't promise you anything, but if I can get you into that meeting, we decide to invite you. Is it something that you're going to be able to make Wednesday at 6 o'clock? Are you going to be able to clear your calendar for it? Then you shut up and let me answer. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I've got several other people to talk to you. Okay. Today is Monday. Here's what I promise. By the end of today, I'll be able to determine who we invite into that meeting. I'll give you a call back and let you know if I can get you in that meeting. Is that cool? Oh yeah, that's good. Awesome. Okay. And then it's like 7 o'clock. Like I'd wait till like 8 o'clock. Hey Joe, this is Alex. Hey, listen, I've got some good news. Pablo and I talked, and we decided on the number of people that we're going to invite. You're actually one of them. Okay, so we got that meeting at 6. It's at this office location. It's going to be in an office conference room. If I tell Pablo that you're going to make it, are you going to be able to make it? Nothing else is going to come up. Oh no, yeah, I could be there. Okay, I'm going to invite you. Now look, I'm going to vouch for you. I'm going to tell him, what a great person you are. Listen, can you promise me one thing? Yeah, yeah. If there's for some reason, if something comes up that you just cannot make the meeting, like an emergency, something like that, you're in the hospital, can you promise me that you'll call me so I can let Pablo know you're not going to be there? Because then maybe we can invite someone else that we didn't invite to take your slot. Okay, can you promise me that you'll call me back? Yeah, absolutely. You got my word, but I am going to be there. Okay, great. I just want to make sure. Cool. All right, so I can count on you to be there? Yeah, I can be there. Boom. Okay, do you see a difference between the first way that you invited someone and the second way you invited someone?
Yeah.
Big difference, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Especially
you qualified them. Big time.
qualify and exclusively. You have exclusivity for that opportunity.
Yep.
Nice. I like that.
Because then otherwise people think it's like an MLM and anyone who could fog a mirror can come in. When in fact it's not. Because number one, we're financially responsible for any chargebacks or any business that they write. We're going to have to suck it up if they don't pay their chargebacks off. So remember that. So if they're crooks, we don't want crooks, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We want people that are sincerely interested. We don't want to talk. See, because if you have to talk to someone about getting in the business, guess what? You're going to have to fricking talk to them about doing the business. It's harder to push on a rope than to pull a rope, right? So I'd rather lead people that are interested in making money than people that are not, right? So again, it's the art of qualification, qualifying people, right?